If you feel in your life that, you've got the money that you wanted, the lifestyle that you wanted, and you just feel trapped, you feel like, okay, what else? I've achieved. There is nothing more.
Thank you. I think that is a very, because, we talked about this very early on in the show, right? And that was, we look for outside things to fulfill us when that's not what fulfills us. Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Move, Crush, Count. This is a podcast where we learn how achievers are changing business growth strategies. The Move, Crush, Count podcast specializes in delivering content from experts that are going to help your business grow by interviewing experts on how to discover how you can strike back against a world that's trying to marginalize and commoditize you. So if you really desire to differentiate yourself in your business and you want to learn from experts, then this is the podcast for you. So you talk a lot about, living a life of purpose and personal power. What are some myths or misconceptions that are out there about what the heck that means? Set the record straight for us.
Okay. So when we're talking about personal power, I would say the main misconception comes from the fact that we only have one word for two things that are entirely different. And this is power to and power over. So I'm going to talk about the power over first, because this is what most people understand as power when they hear that word. And some people get upset about it because power is evil. No, the power over is the power that we see in our everyday reality. So it's social power over resources, money, influence, connections. That's power over. So you influence someone in a certain way. But what we really crave as human beings is the power to. Now, power to is the internal state of feeling empowered to do certain things, to accomplish certain things, to live the life on your terms, to express yourself in the way that is congruent with your true expression. And the reason why we want that is because when you think about it, according to different philosophies and schools and myth, we've been created by a god or gods or some universal power. And if we are the creation of a power that created worlds, think about it. Children always take after their parents. So if we come from something that powerful, it's normal that our natural instinct is to connect with that dormant power inside us and to show up ourselves as creators. And most people have lost their connection with that power too. So that access is blocked. They don't even know it's there. And it makes them suffer. It pains them. It makes them feel like something is missing. It makes them feel like they're trapped and suffocating in their lives. So if you feel in your life that, you've got the money that you wanted, the lifestyle that you wanted, and you just feel trapped, you feel like, okay, what else? I've achieved. There is nothing more.
Thank you. I think that is a very, because, we talked about this very early on in the show, right? And that was, we look for outside things to fulfill us when that's not what fulfills us. And so I think there's a lot of people that reach a level of success and then they get there and they're like, wow, I thought it would be different than this. And so that's what they say, money doesn't make you happy, which is a very simplistic thing, but that's kind of the meaning behind that, isn't it? I mean,
yes, because the power over never makes you happy, because if it comes as not as a natural expression of what you're doing in this life. So for example, you're serving a purpose, you're influencing people massively, so you have this positive impact. And obviously with that comes social power. So that's a natural progression of things. But if you try to compensate with power over, for the lack of your internal power too, it's never going to satisfy you. You're always going to feel empty because your true desire is not satisfied. And the substitute, the ego would love the substitute, and it buys all the bling. The ego loves the bling. So anything that is shiny in society, it will go right after it. But for the soul, for your true self is not impressed by any of that. Your true self is only interested in how you can develop yourself to become a more powerful human being, because it wants to get home to what it is, to that blue dot position, to that ultimate expression of self. Because it's the same like with anything in nature. Think of a seed or a little seedling, and you plant it. What does it want to do? It wants to become a tree. And the more it's allowed to become the tree that it's meant to become, the more fulfilled and happy it is as that plant, right? That form of life. And if, let's say, it tries to grow as an oak and you're like, no, I prefer birch trees or palm trees, and I'll try to mutilate it and make it resemble a palm tree. And it's going to be a very miserable and ugly and unhappy palm tree because it's not meant to. So our soul, just like anything in nature, strives to achieve that internal perfection in terms of expression in the best possible way. And so if you instead divert your full attention from the power over and channel it into developing your internal power over how you feel, over your mind, over your body, over your reality that you're creating in every moment. Because you're creating your reality whether you're aware of it or not. It's always there. It's your power. You can't take it away. But if you're creating your reality in the way that it feels unfulfilling, not nourishing, not sustaining your personal evolutionary goals, that it means that you need to pay a bit more attention to that. So I would say that's the biggest misconception when it comes to the idea of power, because people think, oh, it's power equals politicians. No, unfortunately, we don't yet have a word to describe that we have this innate divine power that flows through us, the source that our essence needs to express, because this is the way we've been designed, by the way. We've been designed to channel that power from the universe, that creative power, into this reality and transform it and transform ourselves. So if you're not doing that, your soul will be resentful, and because it knows that this is your purpose. And how you achieve it, it doesn't actually matter, as long as the vehicle of your fulfillment is aligned with that ultimate expression of self. So let's say your destination is to be the greatest expression of self you can possibly be. And there are different trains and planes and cars going in that direction. And this is what people see as their businesses. Like, oh, but I thought my purpose was to travel by car, or I thought my purpose was to travel by train. What do I do? It's like, okay, your purpose is to achieve your greatest expression as a human being and share your gift with the world. What particular vehicle you take to achieve that is up to you. It's down to, just like in your physical reality, it's down to what's accessible, what's affordable, and what's the easiest option for you right now. So you may start off traveling by train, then jump into a car, then jump onto a plane, but it doesn't mean that your purpose is changing. Your purpose is the same, because you will notice that although you're using those different modes of transport, you're still following the same route. It's like there is an overarching theme to everything you do that unites all your efforts together. So this is why don't think that your business or your current occupation is your purpose. Your purpose is to become this great being that shares its light, or his light, with the world and transforms reality, and becoming this real life superhero. This is what we really need to become. And once you become that someone who actually wields reality, I know it sounds like something from a science fiction movie, but the reason why science fiction movies resonate with us so much is because we can sense the truth behind them. For no other reason, we feel like there is like a glass wall separating us from what we feel is true, and it resonates so much. And I don't think there is a kid who never ever dreamt about being a superhero ever.
We all want to be Captain America or Iron Man. So
Exactly,
that's
exactly, or a Jedi or someone like that. And this is
Yeah.
because this is who we really are. We've just forgotten. And the closest we can get to that in real life, the happier we become. It's as easy as that. Well, as simple, not necessarily easy, but it's straightforward enough. So the closer you become to your true self, the more you become of a real life superhero, the happier, the more fulfilled, more serene, more joyful you become. And what you will notice that, just as you said before, Scott, everything starts falling into place. The universe just pans out in the optimal way for you. And this is why I talk about creating your optimal reality, not the reality of your dreams, because quite often that would be your ego reality and it's not going to make you happy. Creating your optimal reality means that it's going to nourish you as a person, elevate you as a person, and become that man and the leader that this world needs.
I have to say, so I want to thank you for an incredible interview. You know what I like most about this, besides your accent, all right? I like talking to people that challenge my think. And you challenge, yeah, I love that because that's where you grow. That's where man, I just really, I'm really hopeful, and I believe that this interview can help a lot of people, and I think you've done an incredible job. So if you didn't get a chance to catch us live, you can still watch the replays as they're on social media, but we'll also put it on Move Crush Count as well. So I want to thank you again for sharing with us.
It's been a pleasure.
I want to thank the MCC Nation for joining us for an outstanding interview, how you can live a life of purpose and personal power. Share this episode. And one reason you want to share it is because I think the message here is such an important topic. So share it with your friends, your colleagues, your family. Today's interview was sponsored by J&L Marketing. J&L is a digital and direct marketing agency that delivers results by helping you outsmart your toughest competitors so you don't have to outspend them. I'm going to give you something free right now that's going to help you outsmart your toughest competitors. So one way to do that is to know what they're advertising. And more specifically, more importantly, you need to know which offers in terms of their ads are actually working and stealing market share from you, right? So which ads where are your biggest opportunities to get that back and to vault ahead? So if you're interested in getting all this information without having to do the work or for paying for it, I can save you a ton of hours and a lot of money. Message me on Instagram and or LinkedIn. And I'll send you this competitive insights report, and it'll give you actionable, tactical, and timely digital marketing tips that you're going to need to move the crowd, crush your competition, and count the money. Everybody have a great day, and thanks again for joining us on Move Crush Count.